I've always believed language tells you more than people intend. Not just in words, but in pauses, in inflections, in silence. The space around a sentence can scream louder than the sentence itself. That's why I took the night shift. After leaving academia, too many years decoding transcripts of sociopathic speech, I chose a more grounded role. Taxi driver by night, observer of humanity by instinct. The city, I told myself, is a case study with infinite variations, and every night I studied it from behind the wheel, until Balate Drive studied me back. It was past 2:00 a.m. on a muggy Manila summer night, the kind where the air clings like sweat-soaked linen. I just dropped off my final fare and turned onto Balate Drive, that narrow artery coiled through Quezon City. I'd driven it 100 times, heard the legends, even dissected them once during a lecture. The White Lady, Puting Babe, Damsel of Death, Phantom Archetype, a linguistic fossil from colonial trauma, gendered shame and revenge. I never expected to meet her. As my headlights cut through the mist pooling beneath the century-old Balate trees, I felt it. That atmospheric compression I'd read about in case reports of hauntings. Sound muted, air dense, like something had vacuumed out the noise and left only the echo of dread. Then I saw her. She stood at the roadside, hand raised. I slammed the brakes so hard the tires screamed. The cab fishtailed, but I kept control. My heart, however, was another matter. She wore white, a loose, flowing tourneau that clung damply to her form. Her hair, impossibly long, veiled her face like a mourning shroud. She stood in the full beam of my headlights, yet somehow remained in shadow. I should have driven on, but curiosity, that old academic affliction, won. She entered without a word. I heard no door open, no seat creak. Yet when I glanced into the rear-view mirror, she was there, sitting upright, hands folded in her lap. Her fingers were too long, too still. "Good evening, ma'am," I said. Her voice, when it came, was a melodic whisper, drifting like smoke through the silence. She gave an address, nondescript, not far. I drove. The cab filled with a coldness unnatural for Manila heat. The AC was off, yet my breath fogged slightly on the windshield. I checked the radio. Static. All stations lost in a white noise abyss. "Coming from a party?" I asked, out of habit more than anything. She didn't answer, but her lips moved, slightly. I couldn't make out if she was mouthing words or simply smiling. I dared to glance in the mirror again. She sat directly behind me, but her face remained obscured by the curtain of hair, as if she chose not to be seen. The closer we drew to the address, the heavier the air became. My ears popped like the pressure had shifted. I gripped the steering wheel tighter until, beneath a particularly gnarled balete tree, the lights flickered. And for just a moment, she looked up. In the mirror, her hair parted, not fully, but enough for me to see what should not have been seen. Hollow sockets, sunken skin, a mouth sewn shut with shadows. I gasped. My foot slammed the brake. The car swerved. I heard her voice in my head, not my ears. A language without grammar, made only of anguish. And then it was gone. The lights returned. The cab idled. The woman sat as before, motionless, hair hanging. I didn't speak. Neither did she. As we neared the cul-de-sac she'd mentioned, the woman finally broke her silence. "Right here," she whispered. I pulled to the curb and turned. The back seat was empty. The door had not opened. The cushion was still indented. The air still cold. I stepped out, breath ragged, and circled the car. The house we'd stopped at was dark, its gate rusted and overrun with weeds. Abandoned. As I passed the rear windshield, I froze. 2 muddy footprints, pressed inside the glass. Small, bare, human. That night, I didn't go home. I parked in a gas station and waited for dawn. I smoked 3 cigarettes. I quit a decade ago and tried to convince myself that I had imagined her. But I knew the truth. Later research, obsessive, desperate research, revealed that many sightings of her occurred within a span of 2.5 kilometers, the precise distance of Balit Drive. Some accounts say she was a student, raped and murdered by a driver. Others claim she died in a crash. Her body never recovered from beneath the twisted roots of the Belet trees. Either way, her linguistic pattern in reports is disturbingly consistent. Silent until destination and then gone. They say ghosts repeat themselves not because they're evil, but because we forget. She is a fragment of cultural trauma encoded in the road, a phantom that repeats her final journey forever. And every driver is another audience, another unwilling actor in her final act. I never took fares past midnight again, and when I pass under Belet trees now, I turn the rearview mirror away. Because language doesn't only exist in speech, it exists in mirrors, in silence, in footprints pressed where they shouldn't be. And if I ever see her again, I won't ask where she's going. I'll already know.